Hello, my friend. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
And I love experiencing these things. It's just so many dynamic things happen in my life since the last time I was in the seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to go on. From the gentleman with the three different perspectives, and the one I don't understand, I don't care about anymore. And, to the gentleman that was talking about the program, and I learned for myself, I used to shoot dope, snort coke, and drink a quart of gin at one sitting, and it was the one sentence deep down inside of every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. It may be blocked by calamity, pomp, or worship of other things.
It's the fundamental knowing of well-being. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It's a fundamental knowing that things are supposed to be working out, and that's why when they're not, you freak out, and you ought to.
Right.
You should freak out when things aren't working out because something is really wacky.
And the rest of the steps were to find out what those calamities, what the pomp, or what the worship of other things were all about.
Yeah. So now what?
Now what is like, since I was here, I was taught how to meditate. And then I was wondering why you like listening to the air conditioning so much. And I used to sell tools in the auto industry to motors. And it was the harmonics, it's my interpretation. You like the vibration of the harmonics. It was easy to tap into. And I started focusing on...
There's a consistency in the vibration.
Right.
That is steadying.
Yes, and 2 days after me focusing on that, I had wonderful rendezvous with someone like Arun Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi's last remaining grandson, and he gave me a wonderful book called The Gift of Anger, and it helped me deal with a little bit of contrast. It was really quite a unique, different little book, and it was just...
Is there a question in here?
Yes, there is. I was originally going to phrase the question that was, challenging. You tell us that it's easy to manifest a button as a castle, or a castle as a button.
We tell you that whatever perspective you hold dictates how much ease or hardship you give yourself. But when you get into alignment with source, then it doesn't matter what the subject of desire is, it's all easy.
Okay. And my question leads to, it was always easier for me to give up bad behavior and bad things. I'm trying to reach for...
Before you go further, we want to clarify that because you brought it up and it's stuck in your vibrational craw, and it's a good thing for us to talk about. Why is the button castle a good analogy? Well, most people don't worry about the difficulty of creating a button. They just don't worry about it. But castles feel hard. Castles feel rare and expensive. So you have more resistance. And so that was our way of saying that it's as easy for you to create things that you have resistance about as it is for you to create things that you don't have resistance about. But resistance is the operative word. So maybe a better way to say it is, when you have as little resistance about the castle as you do about the button, the castle will be as easy for you to create as the button. So resistance being the factor, yes?
Yes.
So
yes.
Then.
So my question is then I've heard you speak that the reason why you put forward meditation as so significant
is because it's easier for us to teach you to have no thought than to have pure positive thought on subjects where you've practiced negative thought.
Exactly. So why are you argumenting our limitations? Why are you telling me, because it's so difficult to get that?
Here's what our approach to you, to all of you is. So you've heard us say this many times, we know that your inner being, that's us, knows where you are in relationship to what you want. And we know what the path of least resistance is, what path you have the least resistance about in order to get where we know that you want to be. So everything that we say is contoured to be the least resistant for you so that you can hear it and move toward it. And so we teach meditation. Now, maybe you would just assume that we didn't tell you that we teach meditation because it's easier to teach you to have no thought than to have resistant thought. Maybe if we just left that explanation out, but still, it is the reason that we do it. It is easier to teach you to listen to the air conditioner and allow your vibration to rise. And we know, as we said earlier today, when you allow your vibration to rise and then a thought occurs to you and you follow it and you make that association, now you own it. It's not just words.
And that's great, but I had some glimpses of that pure positive thought. And
Say
I want
again?
more. I had glimpses, I had feelings at times with the pure positive thought, especially since my sister transitioned in March. And I've been,
So is there something that we've been saying that you are trying to clarify?
right, yes, I want more. Teach me more.
More what?
Teach me how to get more pure positive thought. I want to learn that more.
The thing that we want you to accept with us is that your vortex is so full of asking from you that it would take you 20 or 30 lifetimes for it to all turn to things. So the more is already taken care of. The way for you to get to the more that you think you're still asking for, that we know you've already asked for, is by trusting that meditation will take you to the impulse to those things. What you're saying to us instead, your question is a little different than the words sound. What you're actually saying to us is, Abraham, I'd like to know what the more is so that I could focus upon the more before I get it. And we say, well, now you're getting a little sneaky, because that means that you don't trust that you've put it there, or it means, or it means you don't think you're going to recognize it when you get it. But we know for sure that you will. It's like a treasure hunt. So you set up a treasure hunt for a bunch of kids, and you tell them that the treasure's really good and that it's out there somewhere, and some of them would demand knowing what it is to know if it's even worth their time. You know those kids. And we want you to know it's worth your time because you put it there, and you've been putting it incrementally there, and as the cooperative components have gathered together, it is a precise and satisfying, beyond our ability to verbalize it, something that you have created. And so we know for sure that you'll recognize it when you see it, and that you will adore it when you see it. But then sometimes you say, well, if you would tell me what it is and where I will find it and what steps to take to get there, I would be more satisfied. And we say, no. Because the joy is in the journey. We want you to enjoy the calibration. We want you to enjoy the segment intending for the fun of the segment intending. We want you not to need an ulterior motive in order to line up. We want you to line up because you said it to us, because it is your God-given right, because it is the most powerful thing within you, because it is the thing that you know more than all other things put together. So don't ask us to help you bypass that knowing, make an end run around it. Just know it and then have fun. Yeah. Enough?
There's more, but I'll be back here again.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Really good conversation.